Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.3. The chapter which we are related it is leverage and capital structure. Specific topic right now we are up to is break even point. As you know, in previous two questions we have already discussed what is break even point. A point where there is no profit, no loss, as company is facing a situations where their revenues are equal to their cost. So we have discussed earlier and repeating in a quick session, break even point, a point where your revenues becomes equal to your cost. That means at one stage you are not facing any loss, but at the same time you are not earning any profit as well. So this is your break even point. Look, there are several methods of calculation of break-even point, direct or indirect, but right now we will use a specific formula with which a student will not face any problem. While practically an entrepreneur or manufacturer, he can calculate break-even point with different perspectives. Here we will discuss break-even point in terms of units only. But there are other ways to calculate break-even as well. Please read down over here, find the firm's operating break-even point in terms of units. So we are going to calculate break-even point in terms of unit. For that, you will have to see few elements. First of all, you should have your fixed cost in your question, then you need to divide it with CM per unit. Don't worry about these elements, we will discuss each and everything. First, you should know what is fixed cost. Though we have already discussed a cost which will never be altered, it will be same. No matter what level of production is, no matter how many workers are working over here, no matter how many hours per day you are working, that cost would be same. Simple is this, a cost which is not going to be altered, cost which is similar at all level of production. So you can call fixed cost a cost which is similar at all level of production. To this we can have an example. With that you can understand it well. Let's say you are related with manufacturing concern and that factory is working in a building which is on rent. So rent of factory building is an example of your fixed cost. Now please understand, if 10,000 workers are working in that building or 5,000 workers or 2,000 or even no worker is present over there, you will have to pay rent in a fixed structure, in a fixed amount would be paid as rent. Secondly, if daily 8 hours you are working in the factory or 16 hours or 24 hours, you will have to pay rent in the same amount. So fixed amount would be paid as your rent. So it is your fixed cost no matter what level of production you do have. If you are manufacturing 3,000 units or 10,000 units per day, you will have to pay the same rent. So fixed cost was the first element which was involved in calculation of break-even point. Fixed cost, a cost which will never be altered, it would be same. And then this word contribution margin, this is also an important aspect. So contribution margin, again it's a concept which depends upon calculation. It's like fixed cost was a practical concept and you can see, you can observe it in practical format, but contribution margin is a calculative form of concept. You will have its formula. So contribution margin means you are involved with two things. If you will subtract your variable cost from sales, you will get contribution margin. So what you will do, you will take sales and will subtract your variable cost, with which what you will get, your contribution margin. So this is the formula for contribution margin. It is also be denoted by CM. That is why I have written it over here. You can see CM. So you can call it abbreviatively contribution margin, CM. So if you will subtract your variable cost from sale, you will get your contribution margin. Again, you need to see what is variable cost. So obviously if fixed cost which is not altering, variable cost which will alter. Variable cost exactly opposite to the fixed cost. Cost which is not fixed, simply understand it. It means when we were discussing fixed cost, we have taken an example. No matter how much, how many number of units are producing, no matter what level of production is, your cost will be same if you are observing fixed cost. While variable cost is totally dependent upon level of production, exactly opposite to the fixed cost. If you will increase your level of production, variable cost will increase. If you will decrease your level of production, variable cost would decrease. With example, it would be little easy for us to discuss further. And for example of fixed cost may be as electricity bill or salary of guard. Salary of factory guard is better, but it is an example just to understand it. So what will happen if inside the factory level of production is 1000 number of units per hour or 2000 number of units per hour? You will have to pay your salary to factory guard in okay, I have taken example of fixed. So instead of this, you can take example of electricity bill. Please excuse me, I was just going back to the fixed cost. Okay, so variable cost, what we have discussed is when you will increase your level of production, this cost will increase. When you will decrease your level of production, this cost will decrease. Example we have taken is electricity bill. Is easy to understand. If your level of production will increase, your electricity bill will also increase. That means level of production increases. This means your machines will be working more, and more working mean more consumption of electricity, which means higher the electricity bill. So it means electricity bill will increase as you will increase your level of production. Electricity bill will decrease as you will decrease your level of production. Another example we can take is your fuel charges. So I'm sure you can relate this example with variable cost easily. If you will work more, you will use more fuel. If you will work less, less fuel would be used. So it is directly dependent upon level of production. More the level of production is, more the fuel will be consumed, and hence fuel charges will be increased. Now why we are discussing this variable cost? Look at here, for contribution margin we need to calculate break even point. To calculate your contribution margin, you must have your variable cost and sale. That is why we have discussed variable cost. And now finally, contribution margin was calculated as a whole, but here we need contribution margin per unit. So how you will calculate your contribution margin but per unit? Now you are looking for, it may be called CM per unit. So for this same formula, you will use what you have over here, sale minus variable cost, but except with a tiny difference. You will take sale price, but this sale price would be per unit. And then you will subtract your variable cost. Again, variable cost would be taken as per unit. So in this way, you will be able to calculate your contribution margin per unit. So finally, fixed cost, a cost which will never be altered. Discuss CM per unit. Over here we have discussed sale per unit and variable cost per unit. Difference is contribution margin per unit. We are now able to calculate our break even point. Let's go back to the question. And here you can see firm's fixed operating cost. There are only three costs given over here. It's easy to focus upon. what we need. Firm's fixed operating cost is 473,000. Just mention over here your fixed cost is equal to 473,000. Okay, and what next? We need to have CM per unit, and as you can see that CM per unit we know how to calculate. We need sales per unit, and we will subtract variable cost per unit. For that, let's go back to the question, and you can see sells, it's single product means per unit 129, and per unit has already also been mentioned over here. 129 is your sale price. Look over here, sale price per unit 129, and then you need to put variable cost per unit. Go back to the question and look over here, variable costs per unit 86. Put 186 over here. Statement is completed. Now you can put it on your calculator. It was, let me confirm it, if it is 86, yes, it was 86, not 186. So here you can put it on your calculator. 129 minus 126, so we have got RCM per unit. This was needed to put on our formula. Let's mark it. Okay, so here you can put your CM per unit, which we have calculated is 43. And finally, all inputs to calculate your break-even point has been calculated. So we are free now to put our amounts. Fixed cost, look over here. We have already mentioned that is 473,000, and we need to divide it with CM per unit. That has been calculated 43. Our statement has been completed, 473,000 divided by 43. So we have got our answer. This is break-even point in terms of unit. Kindly keep it in mind. These are number of unit at which break-even point is what? Your revenues are equal to your cost. So it means you can understand that these 11,000 are number of unit. If this particular manufacturing concern will manufacture 11,000 number of unit, so this firm will be at its break-even point, the point where there will not be any profit and there will not be any loss by manufacturing 11,000 number of units. Let's go back to the question. Handwritten answer is also mentioned 11,000, and our answer is also 11,000. In this way, our first part has been completed. Let's mark it as it has been completed. So this was your point number A, and we were calculating A point. Let's go back and see what is next requirement. Label x-axis sale units, y-axis and this and that, and then make a graph. Okay, so for break-even point you need to put a graph, and since no limit is mentioned over here, no amount is mentioned over here, so it's up to you. You can choose all the amounts by yourself. For here you need to have few factors. First of all, you need to put your cost and revenue. Here you will put your revenue, or in other words you need to put amount of sales over here. Here you will put your units. Then you need to have your cost to be posted over here. Let's arrange it. And as you know, your cost or total cost, design is asking something else as well, so you may write your cost in 3 columns. Let's choose it. why I have chosen this cost in 3 columns? There is a reason. In your question, you have already seen 3 different types of cost. One was your fixed cost, and then you had your variable cost, and then you will get your total cost. And how you will get your total cost? You need to put fixed cost and variable cost addition. Sum of fixed and variable cost would be your total cost. In this way, you can complete your total cost column. What we are doing, this is your part B, and here we are going to make the graph. Now you will ask a question, to make the graph, why we need these many columns over here. The simple matter is that this would be used in our graph. Let's go back to the question. Look at here, label axis for sales and y-axis for cost and revenue. So it means every element which we have discussed or calculated over here would have its contribution for calculation of your inputs for the graph. So I need your focus, since it's the first time you are going to make a graph in this chapter, while we have already made these graphs for several times in other chapters as well. Okay, what would be the method to create your inputs? Before this, what we have discussed was part A. Let's mark it as well. We are not related with the upper part, and from here we will start our graph. Now please understand, you have calculated your break-even number of units. Those are 11,000. So focus upon what I am going to say. Whatever number of units you have calculated as break-even number of units, 1, 2, 3 lines you will use to make your graph. In second line you will write your break-even number of unit 11,000. Okay, you are needed to put your focus because it is little time taking or attention seeking process. Now please understand, 11,000 you have written in second line, and what you will do, half of this 11,000 you can write. You are very open, you can write 10,000 over here, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, whatever do you like you can put over here, but better to write half amount. 11,000, to take half, what you will do, divide it by 2, half of amount would be written over here. On third column, what you will do, add both elements which we have discussed earlier, 11,000 and 500. So in this way your number of units would be like this, 5,500, 11,000 and 16,500. Please understand, these are supposed amounts. 11,000 we have calculated through break-even point units, and this 5,500 and 16,500, these are supposed amount. And I am offering you and opening you, you can write any other amount less than 11,000, any other amount more than 11,000 over here. So let's calculate our sales, and please understand how to calculate amount of sales. You will simply use your units and will multiply per unit, and per unit was also present in your question and we can use the same. This is your sale price 129. So here you will multiply units with 129. Understood? So amount of sale or revenues would be calculated by multiplying units into per unit. Units over here present 55, 11,000 and 16,500. This way you will be able to calculate your sales. So first we will put 5,500 and then we will multiply it with 129. Sale price, total sale price of units 5,500 would be calculated in this way. Then again we have number of unit 11,000 and we'll multiply with 129 sale price per unit, amount of sale of 11,000 we have calculated. Now we will see 16500 sale price multiply 129 which is per unit sale price. So you have got your amount of sale for 60,500. One part of question has been sorted out. Here we will put our fixed cost. So please understand the concept of fixed cost, then you will be able to put these amount. 473,000 was fixed cost for this break even point we have used. The cost which will never be altered. Either you are manufacturing less number of unit or more number of unit, it would be same. Concept we have already taken. Cost which is similar at all levels of production. So here you can see we have three levels of production where we are manufacturing low number of units than break even point and higher number of units as compared to break even point. But fixed cost will remain fixed no matter whatever the level of production is. So at first line you will put 473,000. At third line you will also be putting 4,73,000. This will make your concept more stronger. How? Because we have understood that fixed cost will remain fixed. Here you were manufacturing less number of unit, cost was same. More number of unit, cost was same. So in this way we have completed column for fixed cost. Now we will calculate our variable cost, for which we will use a simple formula. We need units and we'll multiply variable cost. Go back to the question and look at here. Your variable cost is $86. So here you will put 86. All units would be multiplied by 86 to calculate our variable cost. First number of units was 5500 and then you need to multiply it with 86, which is per unit variable cost given in the question. Total variable cost for 5500 units has been calculated. Now let's see, for second stage we have 11,000 number of units and you will multiply it with per unit variable cost 86. Then you have your third variable cost 16,500 number of unit, multiply it with 86. You will get your variable cost for third stage. In this way all number of units were multiplied with 86, which was fixed. You can see over here all units were multiplied with 86 to calculate variable cost. Now put your focus upon here. You need to calculate your total cost, which is sum of fixed and variable cost. Fixed cost was calculated over here, variable cost was calculated over here. Why not? We should separate it so that we can understand it separately. So here we have revenues or sale at one part and this is your cost and you can separate it from your revenues. Total cost, how? Addition or sum of fixed and variable cost. Your fixed cost was 473,000 and you will add first variable cost was also 473. It had to be checked out. I will see it. 473,000. Let's check it out. What we have written over here. Y amount is similar. 5500 multiplied by 86 and your variable cost is 86. Everything is okay. It's just coincidence that variable cost and fixed cost have the same number. Anyhow, we have calculated our total cost. How? Fixed cost 473, variable cost 473. You have added it, with which you have got total cost for number of unit 5500. Then you need to calculate your second total cost, for which you will add fixed cost 473,000 and variable cost 946,000. So fixed cost 473 and 946 your variable cost. In this way you have calculated your total cost. It's time to see for third stage. 473 ch.13 your fixed cost, and look at over here 1419000 your variable cost. So we have got 18,92,000 total cost. It has been completed. Now our next stage is to put these inputs on our graph. As in question it has been mentioned, there would be two axes, and in graph we usually have these two axes. X-axis we will put units, on y-axis cost and revenues, both will be put on y-axis. So come over here, we can have our graph manually. Look, it is very easy for me to make this graph with the help of Excel, but I will be doing it manually because you will also be performing it a manual way. Now you have drawn two axes. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. In this way you will complete your graph. So this actually is unneeded. Why not? Okay, leave it. So you can ignore this small column. All amounts which would be put over here will have the same size. Okay, understand this. All amounts which you will put, let's try it to make it same size. If it happens quickly, we need to have page layout. Okay, it would take time, so instead of wasting our time we can make it over here. So what I was sharing with you, it's very easy for me to have a graph without putting any effort. Look at over here, I can insert through chart and we'll just click this chart and graph will be over there. But obviously in your exams you will not be able to get Excel or any programmable calculator. You have to make it manually. So that is why here we will construct our graph manually. Units would be put on x-axis. We have 5500, 11,000 and 6500, and there will be 3 points. This is your first point, and then second point and third point. Here you can put first element, which is 5500. Okay, let's make them in an arranged manner. First element 5500, and then second element is 11,000. You can put 11,000 over here, and third element which you have is 16500. So here you have put your number of units. Let's mention it. Number of units would be put over here, and over y-axis what you will do, all your revenues and costs will be posted over here. There are two columns. We need to put revenues and total cost. These two columns will be used in our graph. Let's mark them. Total cost and your total revenue. Units have already been written. So these two columns will be used over here. For that you will see what is minimum amount written on sale column. That is 7 lakh. Minimum amount is 7 lakh. Maximum amount is 21 lakh. Here minimum amount is 9 lakh and maximum amount is 18 lakh. So what we'll have to do, we can have 5 lakh table, with which within 4 to 5 points we will get our figures complete. We need to put 7 lakh at least and 21 lakh at most. So here we can decide what element or what input data we can have. So what I was saying, to put 5 lakh over here, then where that 5 lakh has gone. Okay, delete it, we don't need it. 5 lakh for first item, then leave 2 lines difference. Then we have 10 lakh, after which you can put 15 lakh. Okay, we need more points for that, more space is needed. Let's take this graph little down. Okay, and y-axis will be extended as our need has been increased. After 15 lakh, again leave 2 points and write down 20 lakh. 20 lakh. Okay, and again 2 lines, it will reach 25 lakh. 25 lakh. Okay, so here you will make your understanding what we are doing. All revenues and sales, it was mentioned to put on y-axis. Revenues and sales, revenues and costs are mentioned over here. Okay, please understand that this is the way you can present your graph. Now there will be a question. Okay, there were 2 lines needed to be put over here. We have taken 1 line. Again, a little more space is needed for just 1 line. And we will further extend this graph to 2 lines. And this 25,000 is needed to put over here. Because the difference between each element should be equal. Look over here, difference of 2 lines, difference of 2 lines, difference of 2 lines. So physical difference is same, and you can see that numerical difference is also same. The difference between any of the 2 points is 5 lakh. Look, 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25. Our graph is ready to be presented. First we will present our sales. First sale is 7 lakh 9,500. So we will put some points over here. I am taking circle and let's make it a dot as well. So you will also be creating a dot. We need 3-4 points. Please don't be in hurry and learn how to put these points. 5,500 units, 7 lakh 9,500. First unit 5,500 and 7 lakh. So come over here. Where would be 7 lakh? In between 5 lakh and 10 lakh is 7 lakh 50,000. So just below to this would be your 7 lakh 9,500. So this is your first point, and now we will see our second point is we are just putting sale elements upon graph. 11,000 unit, 14 lakh. These are 11,000 unit and 14 lakh units. Where it would be? You can see it would be lower than 15 lakh but above 10 lakh. So you can put it over here. So second point we have written, and now let's see the third point, which is 16,500 number of unit and 21 lakh is your second point. Okay, come over here. This is your 16,500 and you need to put 21 lakh. Obviously 21 lakh would be little up for, okay, 20 lakh is present over here, 21 lakh would be little up. Let's make it little more settled. Okay guys, we have all of our 3 points for our revenue, and there might be some adjustment needed because I am making it manually. Let's see if we have got the straight line. Now next step is to put a line which will be joining these 3 points. Okay guys, we have got our third point. Now for me it is little easy. I will adjust these points accordingly, and when you will make your graph you will adjust in the same way. So these are 3 points, and what is this about? It's your sales. One part has been completed. Now we will be putting your graph for the cost as well. Only total cost would be written over here. For 5,500 number of unit, your total cost is 946. So come over here. Again we need 3 points. So first cost is 9 lakh. How you will write, how you will point this 9 lakh? Little under 10 lakh would be your point. In between 5 lakh and 10 lakh, there is difference of 5 lakh and you will need to put 9 lakh 44,000. So first point you have mentioned. Now let's see what was second point. 14 lakh 19,000 for second, 11,000 number of unit. Your total cost is 14 lakh. So pick it and see and understand that what I am going to tell you. Look over here. For 11,000 number of unit, your sales is 14 lakh 19,000 and your cost is also 14 lakh 19,000. Here we have proved it that upon 11,000 this point was supposed to be discussed earlier. These were your break-even points. And what is your break-even point? When your revenues are equal to your cost. 11,000 was the number of unit. And see over here at 11,000 stage, your revenue is 14 lakh 19,000. Your cost is also 14 lakh 19,000. So we have also proved that break-even number of unit are the unit where your revenues are equal to your cost. So second point is, I was willing to change its color. Let's see if it can be changed. Okay, it has been changed. So we are changing colors. So here there will be same point. I'm just putting it in a way that blue and red dots can be visible. Our next procedure is to put our next point. Let's go back. For last point, 16,500 are the units and your total cost is 18 lakh 92,000. So come over here, 18 lakh. This is your 16,000 and we need to put 18 lakh. 18 lakh would be in between 15 and 20. So let's arrange it. It would be like over here, little up So finally we have got our second line. First line was put for sales and now we are putting it for our cost. Let's put the line and join all of these points. Second line we will take from here. We are going to join these 3 points. Though it was been made manually, but kindly see it how accurate it is. So we will put it red color. Can you see that this is your graph and red line? Let's change the color of this is your blue presenting, and now red color was presenting your total cost. And make it red. Though we have taken time, but it was important for your graphs as well. So okay guys, cost has been completed, sale has been completed, we have made our graph. And why this red is little away from blue, though the amounts are same, 11,000, 14 lakh, cost 14 lakh. Just to make the difference, you can put this dot exactly upon blue point. Okay, both points would be same, and this is going exactly to 11,000. So this is our graph, but now let's see what is requirement of our question. Cost. In addition, label the operating break-even point. So you can see this point is your break-even point, where both break-even point, where both cost and revenues are equal. Requirement completed. Now let's see what else. And the area of loss and profit. Come over here. Red line was your cost. Blue line was your sales. At this stage, please note it down, at this stage, your cost was higher than that of your sale. So this area, uh, from this red line to this blue line, and in between these two lines, this area is the area of your loss. And after that, let's talk about this area. Sale price is over and above than your cost. Sale is higher than your cost. The area in between this would be your profit. Okay, hopefully you have understood. Now please do your attention over here. I'm repeating it. Red line was your cost. Cost was higher. Revenues were lower. That means cost was higher than that of your revenues. So this area in between red and blue line is your loss area. And here exactly opposite, your revenues become more than that of your cost. You are taking this point. So area in between these two lines would be your profit. Area in between this line is your loss, and that is what has been asked in your question. Label the operating break-even point we have and areas of loss and profit. This point where both revenues and costs are equal, it is your break-even point. Area over here where your cost is more than your revenue is loss. So area in between these two lines, red and blue, just before break even point, this is area of loss. And area between this blue and red line, you can see your sale is higher than that of your cost, so it is favorable. So in between these two lines, all area would be considered the area of your profit. So our graph has been completed. Let's review our question, what we have done up till now. We were asked to calculate operating break-even point in units, and look at over here, 11,000. 11,000 was matched, break-even point unit calculated. Though indirectly it was calculated, we have used several terms over here, and then we have put those terms in our formula with which we have calculated our break-even units. And then you can see the second requirement of question was B, where we were asked to make a graph. And this is your graph. We have made this graph manually. Kindly keep it in mind. In Excel, it was a matter of just 1 second. This graph was uh, supposed to be made with the help of Excel in just 1 second. Why I have made manually? Because you were be making this graph manually on your paper. What method we have used? So it is requested to follow the same method. Graph has been completed, answer is matched. It means our question number 13.3 is completed. We have taken time, solution is in front of you. Though there is no way anything has left, we have reviewed, answers are matched, graph has been made, but even then still I am offering you, if you have any difficulty in understanding any point, you are very open to ask your questions, you are very open to discuss your queries. I will surely be available to answer your questions instantly. For the time being, since 13.3 has been ended, we will surely be meeting again for the solution of any other question in future, but up till now it's ended. Thank you very much for your time. There are two requests. One, please repeat this graph and repeat this question, or repeat or do this solution for 3 to 4 times. Repeat it. No matter if you have understood or if you haven't understood, but repeat it for 3 to 4 times. I'm very sure that you will accept my request. 13.3 has been completed. We will surely be meeting again. Up till then, please take care of yourself. And second request is to make prayers for me as well. It's end time. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.